Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. My name is Christina and I share all my own experiences with all things beauty on my channel. So if you're looking for the most honest and best reviews and how-tos from a consumer's perspective, then make sure that you subscribe to my channel, you like this video, and also any questions you have for me, leave them down in the comments below. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys my no makeup routine because lately I have just been wearing very basic everyday makeup, something I can easily put on, as well as something that will either stay really nicely throughout the day and or will fade nicely throughout the day because of things like masks. So if you guys are interested in seeing that, then just keep on watching. Before we get started, I wanted to talk a little bit about today's sponsor. This video is being sponsored by Curology, and if you guys have never heard of Curology, they are a personalized skincare brand that focuses on things such as acne, fine lines and wrinkles, and in my case, hyperpigmentation. You guys know that I always talk about my hyperpigmentation, my sunspots, as well as acne scarring and freckling. I'm not too crazy about it on my skin. So I actually started using my formula a couple months back, and I have seen a significant decrease in my acne scarring and my sunspots and just hyperpigmentation altogether. Everything has definitely decreased since I started using it. So the way that it works is Curology pairs you with a dermatology provider who then analyzes your skin through some photos and a questionnaire that you fill out initially. And then after all of that, they create you a customized formula with prescription grade ingredients that are cruelty-free and also vegan. Personally, I was under the impression that Curology was just for acne. So when I saw that they create custom formulas for hyperpigmentation as well, I was super intrigued. Something that really intrigued me is the fact that it's custom built for your skin, and they can actually see how bad your hyperpigmentation is, what else you're struggling with, and all that. Because with other products, you have to try them out for several weeks, if not months, before you really realize if it's actually working. Like, that's when you can determine, should I continue using this or should I try something else? So it's a little difficult because there's so much time between where you just don't know. Like, they have these great ingredients in them, but it may not be enough or it may be too much for your skin. So Curology pretty much takes the guesswork out of all of that because they're able to put the right amount of each ingredient in your formula. So all of this to say, if you have a skin concern that you're not exactly sure of how to tackle, try Curology out. I will have a custom link in the description box below, and you only need to pay for shipping. So it's $4.95 for your very first bottle. And I truly, really enjoy my formula. It's right here. It's in such a sleek, pretty little bottle. And it has your name on it as well as the custom ingredients that they put in there for you. And I'll show you guys the formulation of it. It's a nice consistency. And you just put it on every night or however many times a week that you're recommended. And it's just been working so well for my skin. I'll insert some photos for you guys of what my skin looked like before I started my journey and then as I went on. But I'm really happy with it. My skin has been super happy with it as well. And I'm really excited about it. So if you guys are interested, again, the link is gonna be in the description for you below. So because my skin has been looking very even and bright and just, I've been really enjoying it, I've been doing no foundation for this no makeup routine, and it just makes it so much more simple. So to start off with a base, you want to make sure that you moisturize your face really well. I actually used my Curology Rich Moisturizer, which did come with my formula. And then to top that, I'm going to be putting some sunscreen on. This is the Supergoop Glow Screen. I really enjoy this because it does give me a bit of a glow, and it also feels really light on the skin. And it's gonna give me a really nice sheen as well as protect my skin from the sun. So throughout this video, I'm gonna be using several different products, and I am using some high-end products, but I also have some drugstore alternatives if you don't want to purchase these more expensive products. So I have this Milk Makeup Hydro Grip. It's just a little sample size that I got at Sephora, but if you don't have this, then you can use the e.l.f. Jelly Pop Primer. It works just the same. It grips really well, and the reason I'm opting for a gripping primer primer is because it's gonna keep the makeup on your skin and last throughout the day. Under a mask, it works really, really well. And if you're oily, these types of primers actually help subdue those oils throughout the day. So most of my coverage is gonna be coming from my concealers, and I like to combine two concealers. They're both from the drugstore. This is the Neutrogena Radiant Cream Concealer in the shade Hazelnut Medium 1, and then I have my e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer in the shade Medium Beige. This one is a little darker, so it matches my actual skin tone better, and then this one brings some brightness underneath the eyes. Both of them are very hydrating, so they're gonna keep the skin looking really nice and fresh. I like these concealers specifically because they don't eliminate anything from the face, they just kind of like soften them. So these little spots of hyperpigmentation that I'm covering right now, it's just gonna soften the look of them on my skin. I just zoomed you guys in so you could see a little better what I'm doing. So I have those spots, and then I want to cover, I have like darkness right here on the corners of my mouth. So I'm gonna go ahead and put some concealer there. This is like a duo brush from IT Cosmetics. It's the Complexion Perfection number 7 brush. And I'm going to use the bigger portion of this with a light hand. I'm just gonna blend out all of that concealer to make sure that everything is evenly covered. Anywhere that I usually have creasing with foundation and concealer, I'm just gonna take the excess of what's on my brush into those areas. So for instance, around my nose, I start to crease. So really all I'm gonna do is gonna take the excess on the brush and kind of just swirl it in there. If you put too much and it starts creasing, it's gonna be really obvious that you have like a ton of concealer caked on there. So I'm taking the e.l.f. concealer now, and I'm actually going to put this on the outer corners of the eyes and then pull it in. I'm not gonna put it directly into the corners because if you're like me, you get creasing on the inner part of your eyes. So to minimize that, I'm gonna start with the most product over here, and then I'm gonna pull it in. I actually saw this trick from Chessie and I loved it. When I saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, that's so smart. So you want to pull it in and downwards, and then any excess, you're gonna kind of like bring it up towards the eye. I'm also gonna cover up the eyelids too, because my eyelids are pretty dark sometimes, so this will just brighten them and make them even. Next up, I love using cream blushes. I've been obsessed with them for 2020, and recently for this look, I've been going for the Undone Lip to Cheek palette in the shade what is this, Rosewood, and then I combine it with the Flower Blush Balm in the shade Cinnamon. This one has really good pigmentation. It can stand alone on its own, and it looks so nice just layered onto bare skin or also like foundation and concealer. And then this one gives a nice sheen. It can take the place of like a highlight if you want it to. So pretty. And then these two combined, the shade is just like perfect. As you can tell, it's very well loved. And I'm just gonna take my finger and I swirl all parts. It's supposed to be like light, medium to full coverage, or maybe this way, I can't remember. But I swirl it all together, and then I'll just take it on the tops of my cheek, and then I'll bring it up a little towards my temple. That's just how I like to place my blush because I don't have prominent cheekbones, and this kind of helps make that illusion. Then I'm gonna take a wet sponge and I'm going to pat out the edges of that and then really place this where I want it to be. I've been going pretty crazy with blush recently. I used to be really scared of it, but now I'm like super obsessed. I just love the look of it. I love the flushed cheek look. Sometimes I can go overboard, I admit, but it's fun. And then I'm just gonna layer a couple of drops of this Flower Beauty Cinnamon. And this is pretty if you just want like a nice flush and you don't want something intense like the Undone one. This shade Gorgeous. And then we're gonna pop this right on. And it sort of just melts into the skin and blends away. And what you're left with is a little bit of the color, but most of the finish. I'm gonna take a little bit on my nose too. So this part's super optional, but I like to do it every once in a while, and I'm gonna do it today just because I feel like it. I'm gonna use a cream contour, and this one is the Omo Beauty one. I've been obsessed with this. It's in the shade Honey Honey. It's really, really good, blends out like a dream. And if you don't want to purchase this, Physicians Formula actually has a really good stick, contour stick thing. I have that, but I actually can't find it right now, so I'm just gonna stick to my usual, and I'm only gonna do like a little bit, like that much. I'm taking this Fenty angled brush. Really anything will do that's dense that you like using for creams, and I'm gonna blend this out really gently onto the skin. Now at this step, I like to use a liquid highlighter. Like I said, you don't have to, because that flower blush kind of acts like a dewy highlight. What I like recently has been the Charlotte Tilbury Beauty Light Wand. I do have drugstore alternatives for those. Two products that I really like as base like shimmers and highlights and stuff is this Milani Soft Focus Glow in the shade number 2 Golden Glow. Really, really beautiful product. As well as this L'Oreal Lumi Glotion in 902 Light Glow. Both of these products are so gorgeous. I love using these as a base or just as a spotlight highlighter. I'm just gonna be using my Charlotte Tilbury wand. So I mainly put it in those sections, and then I'll blend it out with my sponge. And anything left over, I'll put like on high points of my face, because this one is a little more glittery. So since we're going for like a no makeup look, you don't want glitter all over your face, you know? So a little on the chin, and then just a bit on the forehead. So now I'm gonna go ahead and set the face, and the reason I set the face is because I want to make sure that any powder products that I put on do last. So the reason for my powder, like setting the face with the powder, is not to add more coverage. It's literally just to set everything down. A powder bronzer or a powder blush on top, if I put it directly onto that cream product, it gets kind of spotty. So I need to set it down where it's not sticky. I'm just using my Laura Mercier translucent powder and getting the smallest amount, just tapping it into the cap, getting all the excess off and tapping it all over the skin. And I'm gonna periodically touch my face to see if the stickiness has come off. I am gonna be wearing some powder bronzer. I really like this one. This is the Physicians Formula. I can never say that. This is the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer in just the regular bronzer shade. They have, I think, 3 other shades. I own all of them, but I've just been using this one recently. And I'm going to bronze up the skin, not necessarily contour. This one's really beautiful because there's a little bit of a sheen to it, so it really makes the skin look like it's glowing. Like, you don't have to be super precise with it. You can just put it where you feel is necessary. I am topping my blush with this Persona Terracotta blush and the little dual-ended brush. And I'm just gonna top this because in person the blush isn't looking super intense, so I just want it to look a little more like a flush. Okay, so that is the complexion done, and then all we're gonna do now is kind of help shape the brows and then put a little mascara on. So for my brows, I'm gonna be using this CoverGirl Micro Brow Pencil in the shade Rich Brown. I've been really, really loving this pencil. It's just so good. It's the perfect consistency, not too waxy and not too wet. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna focus the pencil on the tops of my brows, because as you can see, it is the most sparse up top and it just needs help with shape. And because we want it to look super natural, I'm gonna just focus on creating that shape right there, and then we're gonna brush the brows up and then see wherever we need any extra brow product, I guess, we can do that towards the end. So this really helps me figure out how to get it to look more shapely, and then how to fill it in properly to where it just looks, you know, like I have a full brow. So I'm just gonna focus it up top, and I'm gonna fix my arch a bit and then fill in the little tail portion of my brow. And then I'm kind of brushing it down to get that product to distribute just a little bit in like the middle section of my brow, and then I'm gonna brush it up so we can get an idea of what the brow is looking like. Compare this brow to this one, and all we did was shape the top of it and then just bring a little bit of product down to blend it and then brush the brows up. So that is the difference that it makes. I think it makes a huge difference, and it's so simple. So if you find yourself kind of making your brows a little too intense sometimes, try that trick out before shaping the bottom portion of it first. So all I'm really gonna do is just fill in these portions right here, and then here where it's more sparse, just a few lines, and that's it. That's all we're gonna do with the brow. So I'm gonna do the same thing on this side. All right, so all I'm gonna do now is set my brows because I do have really long brow hairs. So I'm gonna use my Glossier Boy Brow in the shade Brown just to set this all. So if you want to go for a completely no makeup look, you can do without mascara, because I feel like this really is just clean and it looks really nice and fresh. I personally really do like wearing mascara all the time because I feel like without it, my eyes do look a little smaller. I'm gonna go ahead and apply some mascara after I curl my lashes. My lashes are looking a little funny right now because I did do a lash lift maybe 3 weeks ago, so it's slowly falling right now. So it's in a weird phase right now. Just taking my Maybelline Full and Soft, and then I'm gonna take a little bit of my Lancome Monsieur Big. So to finish off the look, I use a gloss, and I applied this Glossier lip gloss in the red shade. It really isn't red, it's just like a little pink tint almost. It doesn't really do too much, but I just bought it and I do like it. It is on the stickier side though, so if you don't like sticky glosses, you may not like this, but I really like it because I feel like it wears longer throughout the day. And I also really, really love this M Cosmetics Morning Dew Gloss. The texture of it is almost watery. It feels really lightweight on the lips. It looks really hydrating. Like if you see lip glosses that just make your lips look like you've been taking care of them and drinking tons of water, this is what that does. It smells like vanilla, which is really nice. I feel like it's so universal. You can use it paired with another lip product, or you can use it by itself. It does make the lips look really shiny and just good. I don't know how to explain it, but pick this up if you're looking for a good universal gloss. You will not regret it. I've just been using this Milani Make It Last setting spray. It's so good. And it helps my makeup last literally all day. So love it. I think a setting spray is a very good thing to add if you want to keep from having your makeup smudge everywhere. Let me know if you guys enjoyed this video, or if you use any of the products that I do either similarly or completely different. I would love to know. I know that a lot of these products are very universal. So if you found this video helpful, or if you enjoyed it, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this one. Don't forget guys, if you want to try out Curology, the link is down below. It's only $4.95 for your first bottle. So I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!